Good morning, I'm Brian Reagan. This is
Tyler Kelly.
And today we are in Luke 16, verses 1 through 13, the parable of the unjust steward. Tyler?
He also said to his disciples, there was a certain rich man who had a steward, and an accusation was brought to him that this man was wasting his goods. So he called him and said to him, What is this I hear about you? Give an account of your stewardship, for you can no longer be steward. Then the steward said within himself, What shall I do? For my master is taking the stewardship away from me. I cannot dig, I am ashamed to beg. I have resolved what to do, that when I am put out of the stewardship, they may receive me into their houses. So he called every one of his master's debtors to him, and said to the first, How much do you owe my master? And he said, 100 measures of oil. So he said to him, Take your bill, and sit down quickly and write 50. Then he said to another, And how much do you owe? He said, 100 measures of wheat. And he said to him, Take your bill and write 80. So the master commended the unjust steward, for he had dealt shrewdly. For the sons of this world are more shrewd in their generation than the sons of light. And I say to you, make friends for yourselves by unrighteous mammon, that when you fail, they may receive you into an everlasting home. He who is faithful in what is least is justful also in much, and he who is unjust in what is least is unjust also in much. Therefore, if you have not been faithful in the unrighteous mammon, who will commit to your trust the true riches? And if you have not been faithful in what is another man's, who will give you what is your own? No servant can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will be loyal to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon.
All right. So this parable causes people some difficulty. And again, it's the standard issue with a parable is people try and apply some kind of deep meaning to nearly every single part of it. Tyler, if you owe me $100 and you ain't paid me $100 in 6 months, and I look at you and I go, dude, tell you what, do you got 50 on you? And you go, no, I got 40. And I go, you know what? We'll call it even. Just give me the 40 and I'll forgive the rest of the debt. Would you give me the 40 you had to get rid of the $100 debt?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I've read commentators, brother, where I'm serious on how the dude cut the deals. Like took 2.5 pages in the commentary, and it's like, okay, right here where Jesus says the sons of light aren't very shrewd, that tells me that Bible commentator, he's one of those not too shrewds. People come to this and they're like, he gave away so much of his master's stuff. No, he didn't. All right. Economy lesson.
Ready.
All right, Tyler, hold out your left hand. How much money do you have in your left hand?
I have no money in my left hand.
All right, hold out your right hand. How much money do you have in your right hand?
Nothing.
All right. On this piece of paper in your hand, I've written a number.
You have.
And it says what?
$10,000.
$10,000. Now, tell me what you have in your left hand.
A post-it note that says $10,000.
Would you rather have a post-it note that says $10,000 or $1,000 in cash?
$1,000 in cash.
Give me my post-it note back. I'm not putting either in your hand today.
Darn it.
You go, but no, see, that's the point. Money on paper isn't real. Money in the world of electronics, you say, oh, it's real, brother. I love people who are like, Bitcoin's going to replace the American dollar. Then how come Bitcoin is valued in American dollars? The standard of Bitcoin is still the money that everybody says is going to replace. The guy was smart. Maybe he'd been doing his job but not doing it. We don't know exactly how. His master heard that he wasn't. And so his master was going to call him in to give an account. And the guy was nervous, which says, yeah, he probably wasn't doing his job right. So he cuts deals. The old saying, a bird in the hand is better or worth more than two in the bush. Yeah. But there's also this other principle. If you haven't been paid on something for 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, and you run into that guy and you go, dude, do you got the $10,000 you owe me? And he's like, no, I got $500. You know what? Give me the 500 and we'll call it even. But you lost 9,500. No, you don't get it. I've already moved on. I've adjusted my life without the money that dude owed me. At this point, anything I can get out of him is money up. That's what the steward understood. These were things that were long-term debts, that he was the guy who was supposed to be collecting it for his master. Apparently he hadn't been. And so he cuts new deals. And when I read this, I kind of see that within this deal cutting, that when he rewrites the balances, he probably looked at him and said, how much oil do you have on hand right now? How much can you part with? Bring it now and I will readjust your amount. And we'll knock your balance down, and then the master will be happy with you. We'll all be good, and we'll take some of this off of you. And those people are looking at it going, dude, 20% off my debt? Sweet. Yeah, I got some money. And that's the point Jesus is trying to get us to see. We've got to be shrewd. You say, but he hurt his master. No, he didn't. Okay, I've got a 20. All right, and so with my 20, if I owe Tyler 40, and Tyler says to me, well, I want 20 out of you, but I'm still going to hold the $40 over your head, and you're still going to owe me 20 more. Yeah, no, dude, I can't part with my 20. But if Tyler says, give me a 20 and we're even, to have him off my back, it's now worth it. And now he is how much up? $20. You say, but he's out 20. You don't get it. All that money was already a wash. It was already gone anyhow. What's the old saying about blood and turnips, Tyler? You ever heard that one?
Mm-mm.
You can't get blood from a turnip? Why? Because turnips ain't got blood in them. If a person ain't got the ability to pay $10,000, well, you're out it. But the day that they have $1,000 on them, that you go, I'll forgive your 10 if you'll give me $1,000 right now. Woo! And you know what you know from then forward? Don't loan them money. All right. And so the next part of this, and it's unfortunate that they translated it, so that when you fail, Jesus isn't talking about them failing like the steward. He's talking about the nature of money. This is a Federal Reserve note. American money used to be treasury notes that you could take this currency document to the United States Treasury, and they had to give you actual substantive material in copper, silver, gold, whatever. A Federal Reserve note isn't actually backed by anything. And that's Jesus' point about money. The money that existed in Jesus' day no longer exists. We don't use Roman coins. We don't use Jewish temple coins. That's his point when he says, when money fails. If tomorrow the entire world moved off of the United States dollar being the basis for all oil exchange and valuation on the planet, do you realize what would happen to the entire world's economy and America? There is more money outside the United States than there is inside the United States that is keeping the entire world economy floating. And nobody in the world can call the debt on America, because everyone's debt is based on American dollars, because if they call it, the entire world economy collapses. That's why China can't collect on our trade debts and other debts. The entire economy collapses, and that's Jesus' point. Don't get so hung up in the things of the world that you fail to use the things of the world for eternal benefit. Use this stuff that's temporary in order to lay aside things that are eternal. Use it now for good and to bless others, because when money fails, the things you've invested in God and eternity continue on. That's the thrust of the parable. Because as we're going to see, with the next parable, but look at verse 14. He said, now the Pharisees, who were lovers of money, heard all these things, and they derided him. Cha-ching. So we'll deal with this a little bit more tomorrow and Thursday in our next two lookings at these parables, because all of chapter 16 is basically one big chunk of parables, or parable with other explanations. So, you got anything else on this one, my brother?
Yes, sir.
With that, we bid you good morning. Lord willing, we'll see you this afternoon.